Hello and welcome again to our 7th video on the first day of Genesis. And let's go through those lines from the text. If you can read through them in Greek, that'd be great. I'm gonna scroll through here to allow you time to read it all, and hopefully it'll sink in. Okay, so now we're going to have another look at our noun charts. And we're going to try to fill in some more squares. So here we have the nouns that belong to the first group. And so far they're all feminine. Okay. So you can see day and evening have similar endings. Very similar. And if you want to guess what goes in the target box here, I think you'll probably guess it right. Let's copy it. And okay, we don't need it colored because it's not actually in the text so far. And the ending is the same as for day. Esperon. But if you remember, it was originally started with the digamma. Esperon. Okay. Now we want to take a look at the relating boxes. Relating or separating. So we don't have anything to go by here. It's all blank. But we have a clue in the second group of nouns. We have one feminine and the word for the. So let's copy that word, the feminine word for the, and let's put it in here. And now, maybe you can guess what the ending is for Ge, the earth. Okay, we're going to take off the highlights. And if you think there's a sigma that belongs here, you're correct. Let's see if I can put that in without to do that, there's fortunately there's no alt sequences I can use in, as far as I know, in Google Docs. So you can set things up. I believe it's in Tools, Preferences, and then Substitutions. And somewhere along the line I have S0, but if you do it, it only shows you in the small letters, but if you do it in capitals, it comes out capital. All right. Okay, so now let's go back here to Arcane, or well, Arcane, focus noun. And yes, we can put another sigma. I usually do copy and paste if it's a tiny bit easier. Okay. Well, there's a problem there. I need the to make it into a up-down pitch. Okay. Arcades. Okay, now we got our first group nouns that end in alpha. Okay, let's do this one first. Well, let's copy it from here. And in this case, it's just a matter of, actually I think I already have it in memory. Oh, that was dumb. All right. I didn't, because I copied it. All right. Let's get that mouse over top where I need it. There. Okay, so that's, we don't need the highlight here. Oops, I didn't want that. Don't want to link anything. Okay, no highlight. Okay. And actually put it here before I copy the rest of it. Esperas. Okay, and what about Tea? You see there's a pitch mark at the end, so we're going to have to let's copy our sigma. Okay, so in this case, you see how our K goes into a up-down accent in the relating case. So we're going to have to do the same for the alpha here. I don't think I have one handy, so let me head to the bottom of my copy one here. There's one here. Right. Okay, so we gotta switch this one. And bold it. Okay. There we go. So now you've got, the focus, the target, and the relating cases of the first group of Greek nouns for the feminines. Okay, now let's look at our second group. And we just need to fill in one box here. Now you can see the ending of the two we have already. So obviously it's going to be exactly the same. Theos and oranos are going to have the same endings in the separating case. No, that's all I need. Okay. Get rid of the highlight. Okay, so I want to get, let's take a look at the third group, and you see we have the word for the, and it happens to be the same, whether it's neuter or masculine. So and the ending is the same. Bold that. To or no. Okay, so moving right along, let's go to the third group of neuters. Third group, and you see, well, first of all, we know that neuters always are the same in the focus and target cases. So we can just copy this. Yeah. Okay, let's get rid of the highlights. Okay. And same thing for water. Okay. Now we've got one more box to fill, and that's this one. What's the separating case for breath or spirit? And very similar to say the endings for water or light. All right. This is a little, I need to get more space here. Don't need quite so much here. Okay, so okay. All right. Now there's one other thing we have to do. The epsilon changes its pitch mark to up pitch mark. Do I have? I didn't get that. There we go. Whoops, that's the wrong spot. I wanted to put it here. Let's go back. Okay. Pneuma, pneuma, pneumatos. Okay, so we've finished that. One more to go. Third group feminine that ends in the xi and then transforms into kta in the target case. So I'll give you that one. Let's get rid of the highlight. Now, let me double check. Pretty sure we have a change in the pitch mark. Where is it? Yep. So this pitch mark, do I have one that I can, there, Scotus. Do I have any others? Yeah. Alright, so I'll get the up pitch mark in here. Yeah, didn't take. And throw it in here. And add my sigma. Let's get rid of the highlight and bold it. And we can't have two pitch marks in the same word. Well, with a few exceptions, but generally no. There we go. Just line that up. Okay. So now we have the separating case for night. Nux. And so generally you wouldn't know from looking at the focus noun what the other cases look like, or if you just have say the separating case, you wouldn't necessarily know what the focus case ending looks like. So that's why in our vocabulary we always specify both the focus ending and the separating ending, separating or relating ending. And so let's look at our vocabulary. And you see I put in angle brackets an abbreviation of the group and the endings for the focus noun and the separating noun ending case, and the gender, feminine. Okay. Yeah, let's look at this word again. Arche, which is a fairly important word for the beginning of the creation. Can mean beginning, start, origin, or source. Also rule, supreme authority. And all the English words that end in arche come from that. And there's all sorts of Greek words that are related. Archo is the verb. I begin, I start, I initiate an action, or I initiate a chain of command, or I rule. Archon is a ruler. Monarchos is a monarch. And you get the idea. Monarchia is ruled by one. And I mean, there's too many to go through here, but I'll just quickly go through the English derivatives. Archon, monarchy, patriarchy, hierarchy, anarchy, archive from archeon, which is a government building or a place of government documents. Archangelos is an archangel. Architecton is an architect. And then you have the noun modifier, ancient. And you get English archaic from that. You have a word for antiquity. Archaeologia is ancient lore. You get the word archaeology from that. And archetypal from the noun modifier here. And the noun archetypon is a prototype or model from which you create a pattern. And the English word archetype comes from that. Okay, I can't remember if I don't think we did Gaia, earth, land, country, Mother Earth, Gaia, matter or material. You get English words geology, George, geography, geometry from that. Tea, goddess. You get the word Dorothy from that, gift of a goddess. Hemera, day or daytime. You get words ephemeral and ephemeris from that. Hespera, evening or evening time. You get vespers from that. Or western, because the sun sets in the west. Okay, the second group, Theos. You see I've labeled them. I didn't label these guys. I should probably do it. I'm going to do something like this. One. I need a long alpha. Whoops. Try that again. And we don't need it in bold. Could have it in bold, but depending on how much bold you want. And it's a feminine. Okay, and we can just copy that to the other first group nouns that end in alpha. There we go. Okay, so theos. So we get words theology, theocracy, Theodore, Timothy, and atheist are all related. Oranos, sky, heaven, Father Sky, divine energy. You have related words. Orania, which is Urania, the muse of astrology or astronomy. And the noun modifier that has the three groups of endings for the feminine, the masculine, and the neuter, which means celestial or heavenly. I forgot to do a closing bracket here. Whoops. Hit the wrong. These keyboard on the Chromebook is very hard to deal with for me. So I hope you understand what I'm going through here. Okay. Second group feminines. Third group neuters. I think we've already looked at scotus and pneuma. And hudor. And pous. And nux. Night. Or the goddess of night. And yes, I believe we've looked at that already. All right. So let's go back to the noun modifiers. We can fill those in quickly. Okay, the word for good, kale. Okay, so the endings are pretty straightforward. They're basically the same as we have up here. And same as we have up here. And the neuter and masculine are the same. There we go. And for middle, it's pretty similar, except that the pitch mark precedes the ending, so we just have to find, which I don't see. All right, but trust me, they're just the same thing without okay, we can copy that. Come on. I didn't want that. So we just want to add a sigma here. And we want to change the ending here. And here. Oops. Let's get rid of that Ada. There we go. Okay, so I hope that it's pretty straightforward. All right, so I guess I could do this one, but I think I want to be wary of the time. Is there anything? Okay, I want to show you that we're going to be going into another day in the next tutorial, so rather than continuing to copy all these vocabularies, we can place them into a spreadsheet. So I'm putting the nouns of the first group, ace nouns. There's the pattern for arke and gay. And here's the vocabulary. Arke. Okay, so a brief translation, a derivative, and a reference to where I first came across the word. In Genesis 1, the first verse, and my 7th tutorial on Genesis 1. And same thing for gay. So I'll be creating that as we go along. And you could do the same. I mean, if you don't want to deal with computer entry, you can do this all in paper, but the good thing is that with spreadsheets and tables, they give you the ability to insert lines and delete lines, which is very helpful when you want to fit stuff in order. Okay, One more thing I want to mention to end this off. You'll remember, let's do a little Gematria. Remember that the Greek letters also have corresponding numbers with them. We covered this in one of the alpha videos, and you see them all here. We should take note that the eta symbol we're using as the initial aspiration. So our eta is actually a 0 because it doesn't belong in here. We're using the epsilon underlined for the eta. Okay, that said, let's go back to our first day, and you'll see the focus is on heteos, and on pneumateo. Those are basically the two agents that are involved in creation. And okay, take a look here, control, and let's go to Gematria. Okay, you see hoteos. Okay, we don't need the accents, but you can just ignore those accents or pitch marks. And you translate the letters into numbers, and you add them up. Hoteos gives you 354, and pneumateo, you translate all the letters into numbers and add them all up, and you get 1060. Okay, let's, I don't know if you remember, but in the Pythagorean way of thinking, the creation of the universe was very structured with, very integrated with mathematics. And if I can draw this line with a mouse, no I can't, it's too yucky. Okay, let's put that away. I'm going to use my little pen here, try to make a straight line. So one of the basic math concepts is the perpendicular lines. Imagine those are straight lines, and they're all have one unit measure, both sides. So if we want to construct a triangle, we can join these. Whoops, that wasn't very straight, but imagine it being straight. So you know Pythagoras came up with a theorem that you probably learned in math class. And so the length of this line is a square of both sides added up, and you end up getting square root of 2. So what is the square root of 2? Let's take a look with a calculator. 2 square rooted, and you see it's 1.414, but it's obviously it's an irrational number. So it's one of the mysteries of the universe, that we have irrational numbers that can't be expressed as decimals. Okay, so let's go back to our Gematria. Gematria, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. There's another Greek word for it, but that's even harder to say. Okay, so we have our two numbers here. Hoteos adds up to 354, and pneumateo, a breath of a god, or adds up to 1060. So let's add those two numbers up. And what do we get? 1,414. And look at the similarity. F square and square root 2. Okay, something to think about. Anyways, I'm going to end it here. And we'll see you in the next tutorial for another day in Genesis creation.